Patreon member shout out. Time is racing toward us till the Huns arrive. Heed my every order, and you might survive. You're unsuited for the rage of war, so pack up, go home, you're through. How could I make a man out of you? Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. And before we get started, commenting, liking, and subscribing is a great way to help support the channel. That is free. Non-free ways are Patreon or the thanks button down below. Now, a ton to go over. If you didn't watch my 2-hour podcast yesterday, I'll break it down a little bit for you. Some stuff I learned at Dcon. The team is super confident that they not only will be a household name, that's a given, and they'll be super successful, which they already are. Again, Vanity Fair values them as a multi-billion-dollar company. Speaking of Vanity Fair, they had also interviewed Amar Singh. I will be getting him on the podcast this week. I think it's Wednesday. Not 100% sure what time. I'll keep you all posted. And the Veve team is very confident that they don't even need any other IP. That with what they just have, which again, they have not announced. Maybe they've announced half or 60%. They still have a bunch of IP that they've yet to announce, but it's big. I can't wait for it. And like I said, the team is super confident. Outside of that, it was great. It was great to meet everyone. It was a lot of fun. So let's go over some news. Some people, for whatever reason, think that because a drop doesn't sell out, that somehow it's a failure. Well, we have Puddin' Cheeks responding saying, well, Catwoman and Batgirl were other examples. A few others come to mind, and he said, all along, everything they drop and the mint size is not based on the user base at the exact moment of the drop. Some people have no vision, though. Shots fired by the Puddin' Cheeks. So he does continue on to say that eventually people will realize the measurement system of physical collectibles only loosely applies to digital, meaning like the Bane statue back there or a Todd statue that costs X amount of hundreds of dollars. There's a reason why that's a couple hundred and why the Todd statue is worth, a couple thousand. And that should probably, again, I don't know any particular data points that say like, oh, all the statues are all 10 to 1. Like it sells, the digital sells for 10x of what the physical does. There's no data for that yet. Like there is, but there's no correlation. It's just random. So hopefully at some point it does become more patternized and we are able to see what's under and overvalued. Moving on. Robbie Ferguson tweets out, so Illuvium just did a $76 million primary sales for 20% of their land, and it was all on layer 2. Probably nothing. Immutable X responds, it's 2022, land sales don't need to crash Ethereum. Thrilled to be working with one of the best gaming teams in Web3. I am so happy that Akomi is part of Immutable X, and what we're doing is absolutely amazing. Again, just because Akomi is involved in Immutable X doesn't mean that I think Immutable X is the end-all, be-all. Polygon is really good. Earth 2 is on Polygon. I am very bullish on the space in general. So, moving on, I did have another whale. I had 2 whale friends of mine confirm that they both have around 200 million Omi now, each, which is nuts. More whales are still... Again, if you take a look at what people with money are doing. Are they scared? Are they complaining? Are they say like, all right, I'm getting out if these timelines aren't hit? No. Why? Because they have the advantage of having invested in tech before, investing in general before. This is not their first bear market. It's not their first recession. It's not their first rodeo. Even Puddin' Cheeks responds that everyone that is somehow angry that a drop doesn't sell out needs to read up on economics, focus really closely on the supply and demand curves, and then he posts a photo about economics for dummies. Puddin' Cheeks do be wilded, though. Shout out to him. I can't wait to get him on the podcast one day. So, something that could actually help us out is the U.S. Senate. It's a bill to fully integrate digital assets into the financial system. It is to be revealed this week. I'm not 100% sure what that is. I will keep everyone posted, though. Like I said, DesignerCon was great. We had Vice, at DJ Vice, verified on Twitter, who was checking in. I don't think I met him, which was, I really wanted to meet him. Veve says thanks for coming through, but he said it was a great way. He praised the company, praised the party. It was a lot of fun. We have Sleeping Comics say, because multiple asked, yes, he bought the floor of Vengeance #1 to $5. So if we take a look at that one, This is one of the ones that, one of the very few comics that I have stacked. I've actually only stacked that one, and actually I think that's the only comic that I stacked. Even like Fantastic Four #1, which I have the secret rare of, and that's not going anywhere anytime soon. I didn't stack any of the rest of those particular comics. Most of the comics that I have are actually that Vengeance #1. So I'll go and take a look. Yeah, I have a couple Hit Monkeys, and that's about it. But if I go and I take a look at the Vengeance #1, I have not as many as Sleepin', but I have 40 of them because they're that first appearance of, the person that was in Doctor Strange 2, shares my last name, America Chavez. So like I said, very, very bullish on it. And even so, the fact that it's going under retail right now, when that's clearly going to be one of the faces of the MCU, all right, I have 44 of these. Just bought another one because they're awesome. So moving on. Now that stack seems to make sense because that stack happens to be all about a character that is not really well known, that will become a lot more well known over the course of the next decade, the next couple of years. Someone that might stay in the shadows, but is just my personal stack. I have no confirmation that Lady Deadpool will be in Deadpool 3. I have no confirmation that they don't mess up the character, because every now and then they do that. But I think something that is, again, going for... I purposely didn't buy any of those guys because they seem like bots. But for Lily Z, you look pretty nice. You look like a human. I'm going to buy another one of you right now. And again, I don't have as many of these as I do the other ones. I have about 27 editions of her. Partly because I do feel like the Mighties might be gamified at some point in the future, and also partly because this is the first appearance of Wanda Willson. This is female version of Deadpool. And yes, they did have some unnecessary closeness in one issue run, but I definitely really like that. So again, just letting you guys know, keeping everything what I'm buying right now. You even have America Chavez in with the girl that is playing Miss Marvel. So we will see that in the next coming months. That'll be great. And then, like I said, I have a couple of things that I do plan to ask for Rewind Collective, Amar Singh, who's actually also has a movie coming out that I think he's producing as well. So speaking of other people I'm going to get on the podcast, I am going to get Mumbot. I said I'd be in New York because she asked everyone who's in New York who's going to be in there for NFT NYC. NFT NYC I do want to go to, but it's like an extra $800 for one ticket, and I probably should. I don't know. We'll see. But I said I'll be in New York. I would love to pick your brain over lunch or walk in Central Park, or we can save it for the podcast, which I have messaged her about. Getting that, again, she's extraordinarily busy. She is a very, very talented artist. Brock McBlockchain says, "Psst, Randy, a lot of big art collective known as at the Ghost Club, which was founded by Mumbot, will be out there in full force. A lot of super talent and beauty comes from that group. If you've got time, soaking up time with that group could be really something, just FYI. So shout out to Brock McBlockchain for trying to get friends together. Love that. Anyway, guys, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashy. Bye-bye to Dashy. And everyone please check out at HeyDavidOn and at King Mouse Forever over on Twitter. Standoff Chart with King Mouse over on the Veve app. Kobe Gluckson, Only Player 1 over on the YouTube. Rate that like ETH domain name. Kyle Willson, Wendy Stibalis, Puddin' Cheeks, Veve Las Vegas, Tabs Trades, Mars Davis, Legacy Bermuda, Sody Pop Media, Veve Darklink, Meta Lemon, Veve Vibes, all on the YouTube. Then you got at Nomad with Guitar, at Wit Wizard Veve, and Gary O at 1234CA3, all on the Twitter. I love you guys. Goodbye.